All right, hello YouTube fans and everybody out there. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I know to all the subscribers I got before kind of dipping off the planet of the Earth there, I thank you very much for subscribing. Also to anybody that liked any videos that I put on this channel, thank you for liking. If you watched any of my previous videos, you'll probably know and understand that basically the whole point of this channel is once I get this truck, there's going to be all kinds of content. And still at this point, like many people out there waiting for their Mavericks, it's a waiting process. It's a game. So in that time, I've been trying to be very patient. The best way that I deal with waiting for it is kind of trying to forget about it as much as possible. Um, it goes without saying any day, like I can't forget about it. And I'm also trying to do things around my life so that I'm able to actually afford this and pick it up when it does come in. It's just one of those things where, for my sanity and health and all that kind of stuff, I kind of have to step away to make sure that I'm able to not think about it, and time kind of goes by for me quicker that way too. So, anyways, without further ado, I'm back just for a little bit. Just thought I'd share some stuff in this video. It might turn out to be kind of a lengthy video. Instead of just making a bunch of short, random, kind of short videos here and there, or cutting things, trimming things up, I don't do any of that stuff. I just start recording and I just go live with it. I just let my mouth run and my brain run. So it might turn out lengthy as I tend to get lost. Words just kind of come out of my mouth. I get lost in my thought process and I'm not really, it's a jagged path in terms of how I direct and how I release information. So let's see where to start. So basically, the whole point of this video is just to update in terms of where things are at, how kind of soon you can kind of try to expect content, that sort of stuff. Obviously, with Maverick orders out there, there's no exact timeline. Everybody that's waiting, unless you get scheduled, you don't really know. And even when you do get scheduled, you don't really know like when your Maverick's going to come to the dealer and when you're going to be able to get the keys in your hand. It's a big waiting game. It's kind of a loaded dice with a bunch of question marks, and no matter how you roll the die or dice, you always land on a question mark. So um, basically, this point of my process is, I ordered. So just to recap, I ordered back in September, and it was the exact first date that the order banks opened with Ford. So it was September 15th. That is the day. That is the earliest day that anybody could have put in an order for a 2023 Ford Maverick. September 15th. So everybody knows when that went live, dealers were, all the computer system and everything just crashed, went up in flames. Nobody could put in orders because the orders from everybody, me and all the rest of you, basically crashed, Ford's server or whatever, and dealers couldn't access the order banks and basically put them in. Well, the smart dealers were able to save the orders. That way, when the server and everything came back up and it allowed them to submit, all they had to do was push the submit button, and all those orders that they had done just went straight up to Ford. Other dealers that weren't so smart had to go back manually and fill out everything, then hit submit, which could have been too late for Ford to accept it, or too late to where Ford got it and went, nope, that's tomorrow, and that sort of thing. Or the very less fortunate people could have had their dealers just go to bed because nothing was working, and then wake up the next day and submit them that day. Point bearing to say, I have a really good dealer. I chose them for a reason because I love the dedication that I saw. I heard that they were good without even meeting them. And you say, how do you know if somebody's a good dealership unless you walk in through their doors and you actually meet the crew? Well, that's the great thing about technology and about YouTube. Same way that I'm sharing my thoughts and everything, and hopefully you perceive me or see me as a person that is good and only good intentions and correct information and that sort of stuff. So um, I started watching YouTube videos from Long MacArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, and Tim Bart's there. Just a super genuine dude. I could tell right off the bat, like, wow, this guy just really wants to get knowledge out there. He wasn't a fast guy. He wasn't a dude just, with a smile on his face the entire time, where it's kind of like I can tell you're happy, but are you just like trying to sell us something? You know, things like that. I could just tell like he was in front of his camera. He was just sharing all the knowledge out there because he didn't want people to get hurt, from other dealerships and things like that. So, I started watching his videos and it really wasn't long until I was just like, wow, yeah, all right. I'm gonna make this guy I'm gonna make this dealership the dealership that I put in orders to. Wasn't the first start. I didn't find out about the Ford Maverick until like literally 2 or 3 days before the 2022 orders completely vanished and shut down, which was the end of January of 2022. So a little over a year ago now. I first found out about it like 2 to 3 days, and I went, "Oh crap! I really love this truck. Like, how the heck? Like, when did this come out? Like, did this just like Ford just released it now? Like they shared everything now? Those were my first thoughts, and then I called my local dealership in Iowa here, and they were like, oh yeah, well, yeah, they closed down, in so many days, and I was like, yeah, that's what I heard, and I said like, can I put in an order? And they're like, well, okay, like, yeah, we can try like to get it up, but they're going down in short time, so we'll do what we can to get it in for you here. Let's take your information. So told them my information, and they had like a sales guy call me back, and the salesperson went through like the build with me, like asked me like what I wanted on it, what I didn't want to part it. So I was like, oh sweet, I'm all good. Well, I put in a hybrid. They didn't even tell me on the phone there that hybrid order banks had closed down months before that. They closed down in 2021, like November. So this was January of the next year. So it's been a few months. So he didn't tell me that, which was great. I had no clue until I got off with him, and then like it was a couple days after the end of the EcoBoost orders, so all Maverick orders were now closed, and it was a couple days after that I didn't hear anything back. Let's just cut the story short right there. I didn't hear anything back whatsoever. To this day, I still haven't heard back from them in terms of things, but I found out information later that all I could have done at that point was put in EcoBoost. So why did this guy take down hybrid information when there's no way they could have put in that information? So I pretty much was just like, wow, done with them. And then that's how then I started looking up videos on YouTube, looking more into the truck and stuff, and that's how I found out about Long MacArthur. And then I was like, wow, this is a dealership? And then he said in Salina, Kansas, and I was like, dude, Kansas is just on the corner of Iowa, down south, a little southwest. I was like, huh, yeah. I looked up Salina, just like, wait, where in Kansas is it? That's a pretty big state. And then I was like, wow, it's an 8-hour drive. It's like, I come from Michigan and the eastern side of Michigan. So eastern side of Michigan to eastern Iowa is a little over 8-hour drive. So sometimes, if you come through under the Chicago way, it's like around 8.5, possibly 9. Depends if you really get stuck in Chicago or anything like that, or Indianapolis, because you kind of go around that too. And then if you go from the bottom eastern southeastern part of Michigan up to the Upper Peninsula, and then around through Wisconsin and to eastern Iowa there, where I live here. It's about like 10-hour, 11-hour drive sometimes. So like 8 hours was no problem for me. I was just like, dude, if I got to take an 8-hour drive just to pick up a nice new vehicle and then have time to drive that vehicle back and enjoy it, yeah, like done deal. Sure. As long as this dealership, is able to call me and everything like that, and I'm able to stay in contact with them. Well, I already knew I'd be able to stay in contact with them because this guy, Tim Bartz at Long MacArthur, had a YouTube channel, and it's not just any YouTube channel where it's a, one video like every few months like I do here. It was a dedicated, I already knew he was holding live streams like every Tuesdays, and they had just pretty much set up like a member part to the channel. And you could pay $5 and become a member and get all sorts of information plus exclusive like additional live streams and email contact, text contact. He had a dedicated phone for members and stuff like that. So contact was no problem. I already liked that. That pretty much sold me right there. And I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll do this. But yeah, so that's how I chose. That's a little recap, I guess, about like how I chose a dealership and how I got my dealer, how I got my information in. So as I progress through this video and update you in terms of like where I'm at and how close I think I am to getting the truck and things like that, if you want like the same results and things like that, go over to Ford Video Guy on YouTube and find Tim Bartz and the Long MacArthur crew, as well as his daughter Sarah Davis. They're both spectacular at giving information, and their only dedication is to anybody that supports the channel, and especially their members who become a member on that YouTube channel. They take complete 100% care of those members, which I'm one of them. So basically continuing on here. So okay, so I have a Maverick. It's a 2023 order put in. I do have everything to it to this point, COVP and everything like that. I can't think of the other form that's really important to have. But I have all the documentation that's been sent to me since clear back in like end of September, early October or whatever. So, basically 2023 Maverick Atlas Blue is what I'm going with. I originally wanted Velocity Blue with the 2022 Maverick, but when 2023 came up and stuff like that, Ford told us they got rid of the Velocity Blue and they went with the Atlas Blue. Now at the moment I was pretty bummed out because I'd been looking at Velocity Blue for the entire year of 2022, because like I said, end of January and then very end, or till September 15th, I had all that time to just go like look at the Velocity Blue and think, imagine myself in that truck. So, that entirety of time, you can believe, like, when that color goes away, you're kind of left with, like, well, that was my color. Well, I went with Atlas Blue because I still wanted a blue, and it's, the closest to Velocity Blue. It's just a little darker. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with this. To me, it's better than the Alto Blue here, which I've seen that in videos and actually in person. At a Maverick meetup event, to where it was like, it's really like black, unless you get it in the sunlight. Like you can see in the picture here, the sunlight's hitting it and everything. It's a lot more. It looks kind of like a, light blue to a sense. But I mean, it's a really good, it's a good color. But I don't want a dark vehicle. I like more lighter vehicles. Just how I am. So yeah, I wanted to go with Atlas Blue, but I'd never seen this because Atlas Blue before the Maverick um, was kind of a new kind of thing coming out there. It was on F-150s, I believe, but I hadn't seen an Atlas Blue F-150, so I didn't really know what to expect because it's always different when you see it in person. But over some time here, some Atlas Blue stuff has shown up on the Long MacArthur lot, and Tim does lot walks. Um, for members on YouTube and things like that, and going across the lot and stuff like that. I finally saw one that came in, and he went up to it and looked at it, and it's that moment that I was really just like, oh man, that looks so cool, like in person, like on a camera, unfiltered, and that kind of stuff. So I was like, you know what? I so love the Atlas Blue over the Velocity Blue so much because the Velocity Blue was a lot lighter. It was kind of like really like in your face. Like I just, my truck just went in the ocean, and the ocean, sparkling in the sunlight stayed on my truck. Um, is just very, very like really, shiny blue. So I like this. It's a compromise of like not too dark, not too light, just a very nice, brilliant kind of blue. So I really like it. But yeah, so I'm getting this Lariat. I'm getting the Lariat Lux package, everything on it, and everything like that. Now, here's what's important. I'm hoping it comes in before other Lariat luxury package Mavericks, even though the Lariat trim is the most hard to make for Ford. If you want a faster Maverick, definitely go with the XLT, I believe is what they're saying is the fastest producing one, but then the XL, the basic bare bones one, it's going to be super easy to make, obviously, of course, too, because it doesn't have really much to it. It's the base, trim. So, but I went with the highest, I want a car that I want this truck to last me, a long, long time. I'm tired of going through vehicles. I've had a lot of I've bought all used vehicles. This is my first new vehicle that I'm buying for myself. I'll say it out there. I'm not, weary of my age or anything like that, but I'm 32. And I haven't had too many vehicles. I've just, because I'm young, but I've had 4 vehicles, and they've all been used. So this is going to be my first vehicle that's not already 6 or more years old when I purchase it. Um, and so I want it to be and I have the right to customize it my own and put this order in. So I'm going to customize it exactly how I want it, which is full of, all that I can get. I want all that I can get, for my money. So that's why I'm kind of maxing it out. And I also don't care about time. The vehicle I have right now is fine. It's not broken or anything like that. It's not having issues like some of my past vehicles. It did have a big crack in the windshield for like a couple of years, but I finally got that windshield replaced. And besides that, like it's just a good car. It's got heated seats. It's got a navigation, but I don't use the navigation because it's 2011, and it like technology back then was, I guess, really, really old. I didn't realize it was that old, and I'm that old. But yeah, it's bad. So, but yeah, it's an SUV, Hyundai, Tucson. So yeah, I mean, it's a good vehicle, but. And then while I want to get into something new, and I definitely want to get into something Ford because I've never had Ford, and that's my family. My family used to work for Ford, or my grandfather worked high up in Ford as an engineer. So that's what I want to move on to and make him, proud and things like that. So I'm gonna make it exactly how I want it. It's definitely a vehicle that's gonna be bonded with me, and it's gonna be my baby and everything like that. So I'm doing everything I can to it. So now the most important part, though, going back to what's important, again, guys, I'm sorry I go off here, but what's important is basically. So you got Lariat, XLT, and XL. You definitely, if you want to get it faster, get XLT or XL. If you want to get Lariat like I am, be smart like I am, like I ordered mine. I hope it comes in before a lot of others because here's the thing: Ford left off a lot or put things into a bunch of little packages this year because of how demand the 22 version of the Maverick was, and how delayed and backed up and orders they were. Orders are still getting produced right now. 2023s haven't even taken priority yet because they're still trying to get out 2022s, and those should have been wrapped up last year. So basically, to save that on their end this year, they removed a lot of things. So you can get the Lariat luxury package, but there's a lot of things in the Lariat luxury package that were left out on the side for a purpose, that the Lariat luxury package had in the 22 version. So things like Copilot 360 and that sort of stuff, they're all separate. If you add the Lariat luxury package in 22, it used to include, Copilot 360 and all kinds of different other stuff. And some of that stuff's been removed. So when I put in my order, I had things asked to me because I have a good dealership, good salesperson, and everything like that. I had things asked to me like, now, this was left out of that package. Do you want to still, do you want to add this, back in and stuff like that? And I said yes. I added everything back in, even though Ford left them out. They left them out because they want customers to get their vehicles sooner. Well, I don't care about time, so I threw them back in all the same. So, but the things that will speed up my order is things like the bed liner. Don't get a bed liner. Don't order it with a bed liner. Have your dealership put in the bed liner, which is another reason to, pick out a good dealership, pick out a good dealer, Long MacArthur Ford, and, go, make smart decisions. Because if they're going to be putting in your bed liner, you want them to do it right. And so, yeah, make sure you pick a good dealership and ask them about the bedliner process too. I already know what the process is like. That's another good thing with Long MacArthur Ford. They made an entire video showing how in like sped up time, like in a video of like somebody like one of their people at dealership, spraying in the bedliner in the shop itself, like. So I know the entire process, and I know you want to ask about like the details of the spray and bed liner. How long is it gonna last? What's the warranty like? That sort of stuff. Long MacArthur, it's lifetime warranty on their spray and bed liners. So, and I can even take it to a local, my local dealership, have them do it, and then just send like the bill and the fax or whatever down to Long MacArthur, and they take care of it. So, it's a win-win, done. I love it. But yeah. So, but get that done at the dealership. Like if it's holding up orders and you want your truck faster, leave it out. Yeah, it's gonna come, bare bone, naked, whatever you want to call it. But you can always get it put in some other time, or have your dealership do it, that kind of stuff. But get your truck faster so you can start enjoying the actual truck. Are you going to sleep in the bed and your truck's going to drive itself for you? No. You're going to be in the cab. Like, what? Like, yeah, of course you don't want it to get scratched up when you put stuff in, but there's ways to, attend to that and get past that. There's no ways to get past you hopping into your truck if it's not made. So, it's one thing to leave off. Let's see. What's the, man, what's the other stuff I left off? Well, I didn't get like a cover, like a tunnel, I'm saying that wrong, cover or anything like that. So I left that off. I'm gonna try to have the dealership order one and get that put on, and, that, once it gets there as well. Oh man, I always think of the other stuff that's holding up stuff. I know it's not just the bed liner. Um, oh man, I'll probably think of it later. Of course I will. But yeah, that's definitely one thing that I was just like, no, like yeah, no, take the bed liner out, and things like that. Actually, you know what? I'll scroll down here to see if I think of it while I continue to talk. But so, anyways, right now at my dealership, and chances of me getting it, been waiting. My dealership still has a few 2022s to rock out, or people that had like said they wanted a 23 like clear before me, things like that. Um, so I think they still have like eight orders or something like that to kind of clear out, and then they'll be on to mine and the rest of my people that the people with me that ordered them on the same day, the 15th. So I did just get my priority up though. So priority code in dealerships is what basically how Ford looks at what they need to, what they can produce and stuff like that. The higher or lower the number of your priority, the better. So like a 10 being better than a 15, and things like that. That's the first thing that Ford looks at is like, they take lower priorities. And then secondly, they look at like the date the order was put in and things like that. So obviously, like priority 10 orders, priority 13, those are going to get picked up and looked at first before, 15s and things like that. So, but I got moved from a priority 15 to a priority 14 because the dealership I'm with doesn't have too many priorities below that left. So they were able to bump up all of us 15s, which is the entire rest of the orders, up to 14s. So that was a fun change over the weekend. I liked seeing that. It's the first time that priority's been bumped, and then hopefully next week some more get scheduled, or in the next couple weeks some more get scheduled, and then we get bumped up to like 13s and or even possibly 10s, and that so and then it should be nothing but 2023s getting rocked out, and it's just like when are they going to call my number. um but so yeah, hopefully next month I get scheduled. If not next month, it'll be April. And basically, when you're scheduled, you can look at like a 2 month window. So people that are getting scheduled right now have like a build date from Ford of like April, end of April, May. Um, so yeah, if I get scheduled next month, maybe May, June, and then I get scheduled in April. It's June, July, that kind of thing. So we'll just have to see. But I thought I'd go ahead and share a video in terms of like where I'm at and when you guys can expect to start coming back in and checking. Hopefully it's around that time, but like I said, I have everything on this order, so it's probably going to take a long time. But the things I have going for me is that I was entered in on the 15th, which I really love. And yeah, um, and then I left off the bed liner and that, so hopefully hopefully I get it soon and I can start making videos on it. I have so many things that I want to put in the back of it, and all that stuff I'm going to record and share just to show you exactly what it can do. And it is like a regular truck out there. You don't have to be scared of it or weary of it just because it's a smaller, it's a compact truck, like, or everything like they say. It's just it's an all-in-one. It's a frame, just or a top put on a frame, and car chassis and that kind of stuff. Like it's all one piece. There's the bed's not separate from the cab. Ooh, it's not a real truck. It's the same chassis as their Escape or whatever. Bronco. It's like, well, yeah, but the whole point of a truck is that it has a cutout. It has a bed, behind it. it's you know it's still a qualified bed. It can do bed stuff, and that's all I want to use it for. I just want something to throw things over into and peel out. I'm tired of lifting up my hatchback door and waiting for the door to whack my head, or moving out of the way for it to go up past my head, and then getting things in. And it's hard. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want things that I can easily throw things over the side, and that's what the Maverick can do, as well as any other real truck out there. Tired of all the fake stuff, guys. It's not fake. Come on. It's just different. But yeah, I'm trying to see what else to talk about. I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video crazy, crazy long. You guys are gonna get tired of listening to me, but yeah, I just thought I'd throw that information out there. Um, Basically a few other, little details too and stuff. And yeah, I'm still in the waiting game. I want to get this so I can start making content. Thought I'd just go ahead and share this video. So if you like the video and everything, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe. Um, Honestly, you don't have to, because I don't know when the next time is that I'm gonna update this. Probably when I get some more news. Oh, the other important form I was thinking of is the Dora. I do have my Dora, um, and the Dora is basically the final. It's basically the receipt that Ford gets. That Ford, it's how Ford knows that, all right, we've got an order to make, and then they've got that Dora, so that means boom, a truck's getting made based upon that Dora. They can't make the truck without the Dora. And so I got my dealership got all the information set up so that Dora could be created by Ford. Ford sent the Dora to them, and then they sent the Dora to me. And so the dealership has the Dora. I have the Dora. But that's basically like your proof of sale, basically. So, um, but yeah. Uh, So you guys know 100% because I have that Dora, and I've shared it. Well, I've shared basic info about it, saying that I got it. That's in another video. You can look that up and find exactly what a Dora is all about. But basically, I'm gonna get this truck, and I'll have content on it, so you can like and subscribe. But yeah, that is my Maverick here. Still waiting on it to be built. Hopefully, it gets built soon. Like I said, the things going for me is that I got it in on my dealership got it in on the first day. I'm a dedicated member, so they're definitely looking out for me, trying to get that scheduled as soon as possible. But I've only been waiting for a few months. The other people have been waiting for years. I'm really not gonna start anticipating until it's when it's a year, then I'll start getting more antsy and be like, all right, guys, I'm just like you. I'm like all the rest of you. But until then, I'm just at a few months, so I don't have too high of expectations. But um, yeah, once it comes in, I'll let you guys know, and we'll kind of go from there. But till then, guys, like, subscribe, and peace.